This is the Xiaomi 13T Pro, and it has been my daily driver for a couple of weeks. And here are some of the things that are not so good about this phone. First off, maybe a little bit of a nitpick. When you're taking photos with the picture profile of Authentic or Vibrant from Leica, after you take the photo, you cannot check what picture profile it was, which means you kind of have to play around and find which one suits your needs more, or just take 2 photos every time. And because of that, you cannot really look back on the photos and think, okay, I like the way this one does things, or this one is just overall the one I prefer. I know it's a nitpick, but you cannot do it, and I wish you could actually check that a little bit later. Second off is a MIUI problem. While I do love the software and it works really great, there is one thing that I don't like, which is the notification bubbles. They don't work as it should be. For example, the Facebook Messenger bubbles should be circles, but here they're squares that have circles in them, and they just don't work the same way they should. It's just something that I wish it would work normally, but it is how it is on the Xiaomi 13T Pro. And one more thing that I don't like about this phone is the back panel is like a fingerprint magnet. You can literally touch it and have fingerprints on it. And while I do love the look of it, I feel like the back, because it's like a glass surface with a pretty reflective back, it just makes it so visible for all the fingerprints. So if you don't use a case, that could be not so good because it's a fingerprint magnet. Another thing is, from the back is actually on the wide angle lens. It cannot record in 4K 60 frames per second. You can record in 4K 30 frames per second or Full HD in 60 frames per second. So you cannot match it to the 2 main sensors which have the 4K 60 frames per second. So if you're going for a wide angle shot, you have to sacrifice either the resolution or the frame rates, so you kind of don't have the same aspect in all of those, which I wish was the case, because it would be 4K 60 frames per second for all of them, which would make it much more smooth between changing all the different shots. And because of this, it just adds a little bit of a hassle of changing the settings every time you go through different lenses, and also just makes it that the wide angle isn't as good as the other 2. And maybe that's a little bit of a nitpick, but that is something that I wish was different. And also, coming to the wide angle, you cannot record in log format, but that is also only on the main sensor, so even the telephoto cannot record in log, which kind of is a shame. I wish the more lenses could have done it, so it's a little bit more versatile. Instead, it's only on the main sensor. So it's cool that we have it, but I just wish they pushed it to all of the other lenses so that we had a little bit more options. But let's be honest, that's just me nitpicking. And last but not least is actually the camera on the front. Right here where you have the selfie camera, well, it's not bad for normal traditional selfies. If you want to take a video with it, it's only 1080p, which means Full HD in 30 frames per second, which is a shame. I feel like at least 4K 30 frames per second would be nice, or Full HD with 60 frames per second, like both of those would be nice. Even if you cannot do 4K 60 frames per second, well, this can only do Full HD in 30 frames per second. For some reason, I feel like this phone is more than capable of having really good video, so I don't know why they chose not to have a little bit better selfie video recording on Xiaomi 13T Pro. But overall, I love the phone and it's a joy to use. If you want to know more about the Xiaomi 13T Pro, check out the video in the top right corner of the screen right now. That's gonna be it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed this video once again, and I'll see you next time.